Hello. Okay, I received a question about foot issues, different kinds of thing, pain in the feet, a sunken arch, curly toe, diagnosis, bunion. Bunion. Okay, so the reason why I received this question is because I was hanging out with somebody and they had a bunion. And in Chinese medicine school, we're taught that bunions, we call them sugar toes. So it's right on the spleen meridian. The spleen, the flavor of the spleen is sweet. It's of the earth element. Colors like yellow, orange. Some natural foods belonging to the earth element are sweet potatoes, carrots have their natural sweetness. So when we talk about sweet flavor, according to 5-element theory, we're talking about the sweetness of a mother's milk or the sweetness of a sweet potato, not like the processed sugar. Processed sugar has done something really intense to our bodies. So when our bodies are trying to process sugar, what happens is the liver can't take it that much. So what the liver does is it creates fat balls to store the sugar in to metabolize later. So that's why people who eat a lot of sugar end up being obese. Now, the spleen, pancreas in Chinese medicine are the same organ. They work together. And so we know that the pancreas is implicated in developing insulin or not developing insulin, as the case may be, which is a problem with diabetics. I'm not sure about the science about that, what they say. But basically, diabetes is a disease of food and a disease of sugar. So our bodies are unable to process that amount of sugar. And there are certain ways for different people that those symptoms show up. Now, where bunions usually occur is like right on this place. And there's an acupuncture point right here, which is called the big white, and it is the source point of the meridian. Now, source points in Chinese medicine theory, they have a lot to do with adding the original energy or reinforcing the original energy of that organ. A lot of people who do too much sugar also have monkey minds. They think a lot because our spleen is responsible for the digestion of our food and turning it into blood, but it's also responsible for the digestion of our thoughts. So a lot of times with people who practice holistic medicine, there's no talking while eating. There's no working afterwards. In America, because everything's go, 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 and we're not respecting the natural rhythms, we eat while we drive, we eat while we talk on the phone, when we have a meeting, we forget to eat. And that actually depletes our spleen qi for our actual digestion. So some simple symptoms of depleted spleen qi are diarrhea, undigested food in the stools, general fatigue, dampness, like you get sweaty a lot, but not like a sweaty like you're deficient, like it's coming, it's kind of like you're always just sticky, obesity, etc., and bunions. So the person was asking if she could do something to kind of reverse that, and my truthful answer to that is I don't know. Any other acupuncture type people out there, have you seen bunions disappear using acupuncture and lifestyle changes? I know that some bunions are painful. I have successfully treated people for the pain of bunions, but then once their pain goes away, they don't really care about coming back that much. So I've had a lot of patients who they pay me for like 4 treatments and then they stop coming after 2 because they're better. And I'm like, yo, I still owe you treatments, and they don't ever come back, which, that's fine. It works for me. My point as a holistic healthcare practitioner is to make it so you never have to come see me again. Back in the day in China, before the onset of westernization there, the doctors were paid for preventative purposes. And if your patient got sick, you would give them free treatment. Anyways, okay, so that's bunions. Now, fallen arches are another thing. There's, I can't remember exactly what it's called right now, but there's a syndrome in Chinese medicine where like your inner is kind of sunken. So you'll see people, I'll go ahead and lift up my skirt, kind of like, and it looks in your feet like they kind of, here, let me use my cajon here. Your feet will be like you're always kind of in, and there's this like movement in like that. So that's like the inner part of your body like falling. So Other symptoms that might be present with that are like prolapsed bladder, prolapse of organs. It's kind of like your inner chi is falling out because we're not taught to keep it up and in. So a lot of times, I don't know if you can see, I'm going to stand on this. A lot of times, like in a yoga class, you know, you're kind of just like standing there or whatever, and they'll have you, this isn't the proper weight or width, but they'll have you like pull in. I don't know if you can see, it's very subtle. I'm pulling my muscles in and up. So there's like a slight outward turn. You see that? So it's like, not really holding my space. So there's this like inner upward movement. And something that can help with that is really lifting your toes. Now, I was raised as a dancer, so I have high arches anyway, but if you lift your toes and you put weight on all of your whole feet, it's going to help lift those arches. So going to yoga classes are gonna really, is gonna give you a way to lift those arches up. And just practicing with feet, a lot of people, we don't touch the earth. One of the things I say for just like my own attractions, I'm not attracted to anybody as far as like romantically, men specifically, usually. I'm not attracted to people whose feet are not well loved by the air and the earth, because to me, like, there's, well, being raised as a ceremonial dancer, we did a lot of barefoot stuff. And that's something that I feel really close to home in. But there's something about your feet knowing the earth that gives your whole body a mastery of itself, because there's that connection. So I see a lot of people come into the clinic, they're completely disconnected from the lower halves of their bodies. They have hip issues, they have pain, they bump into stuff all the time. They might have prolapsed organs, they might have lower back pain, they might not be able to hold in their urine if they cough or things like that. That's all about the lower part of the body. So any kind of symptom you have in the lower part of the body, in Chinese medicine, is related to kidneys. Kidneys, there's the emotions of the kidneys are fear, and will is the opposite place. This society is based on fear. We're scared to do like practically everything unless you're somebody who's born with a lot of privilege and power. So within that, there is the idea of the root chakra around here. So your feet, from a psycho-emotional spiritual level, are what you move forward with, okay? They're how you get from place to place. So when people are having problems with their ankles or their feet, I immediately want to know, like, what is keeping them from moving forward in their path? Why are they stuck? Like, which part? Somebody told me that they got a diagnosis of curly toe. And I thought that was really funny. I'm like, oh, these people just pull out all these things from everywhere. It's very serious. Curly toe. I used to actually have that when I was younger. And this is the toe. This is the liver meridian that runs through the side of here, but there's also a connecting to the liver meridian in this toe. To me, what that says is that's repressing emotion. Okay, that's like, I'm not going to share. And when I was a little girl, I definitely had a lot that I didn't express. Clearly, I've worked through a lot of that. And then doing yoga, so really connecting the feet to the body. Our feet are part of our body. A lot of people forget that. That's going to be really helpful. Back to the psycho-emotional spiritual level, and this is something I think it's perfect. Right before I came to make this video, I went to the neighborhood Botanica that I frequent. Botanica is like, it's like the Mexican metaphysical store where I grew up. And gentrification has been coming in my neighborhood, and they're finally getting pushed out and moving away. And he was like, well, there's not really, my clientele's not here anymore because all of us have been getting pushed out of this neighborhood. And when something like that happens, when you're uprooted from your home, you can expect to have all kinds of root chakra symptoms. I had a patient who is a refugee, and she's being diagnosed with all kinds of different things in her womb space, and that's that regeneration, that's that like connection to your ancestry. And she was telling me, like, I don't talk to my mom, I don't talk to my aunties. that affects our physiology. It affects us when we are uprooted from our homes in our bodies. So all of this stuff exists on a psycho-emotional, spiritual level, and we need to address all of it, because if we address the physical symptomology, sure, that's all well and good, but if you don't get from what's under there, what's causing that in your soul space, you're not going to get better. And that's just real. So I'm in a way right now. Clearly, I'm a little upset. I bought so much muicle. I'm going to go back and buy a whole bunch of stuff. If you're in Denver, get down to Botanica del Cobre on 34th and Lawrence, because they're about to shut it down. So, root chakra, man. There's a lot to unpack there. Take care of your feet. It's how you move forward. So, onward. Adelante. Tiawi. Peace.